There you go. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's going to be an intimate gathering, at least for the beginning of this thing, after you realize. See, now, by the time as soon as you're going to all be telling me now in the chat that my microphone's off, and I'm going to be like, oh, shit. And because you get this about 4 or 5 seconds after I start. Anyway, welcome. It's going to be one of those days. My friends are both streaming right now. Monkey's streaming over there at the Brandy Monkey, and I'm pretty sure HB's streaming over at D Live. So those of you who wander in, I'm just happy you're here. I'm not 100% sure, but here from Monkey Stream. Okay, good, Pete. That's good to know. So we've got the news is coming in fast and furious, so to speak, and looks like plenty of people in the Obama administration took turns in that unmasking bukkake on the way to leaking all over the leaking the information with for lack of a better term to the Washington Post. And there's a lot of excuse me, there's a ton of buzz in the media, Twitter, Facebook, political circles everywhere, as to whether or not this was a legitimate investigation or the illegal screwing of an American general, a highly decorated American general who is to be the new national security advisor to the President of the United States. Yeah, these motherfuckers. It's FTG Thursday, and I think we're going to have just a bunch of things to entertain us today. Anyway, we'll get back to the show after I play the intro. Bing. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Night. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live on this FTG Thursday, which is the 14th of May, 2020. This is what episode is this? This is the 329th episode of the Morning Night Live. I know someone came onto my channel the other day and go, you have over 450 videos on your channel? Well, mostly it's just from the Morning Night Live, but I do have about roughly 100 others that I made before the Morning Night Live, and I'm in the middle of making 2 videos, which is a shocker to all of you. I know, just not used to seeing it, but so today, again, we're going to be talking a little bit about the unmasking scandal, and we're just going to kind of randomly go through what people are saying about it, because it's amazing to me. I always forget that. Did I say 329? What did I say? Yes, 329, 329th episode. It's amazing to me as you read people reacting on Twitter or well, I don't go on Facebook, but I'm sure it's the same thing on Facebook. And people are like, they have no idea what any of this is about. You know, I see people talking about Obamagate, for example. And you would think if the president tweets something that says Obamagate and then gives you a video that kind of explains what it's talking about, and people are like, oh, that's bullshit. You know, it's just, they were just investigating the Russia thing, and the Russians, and he was conspiring with Russia. And then, but wait a minute. That whole Russia thing was bullshit. The whole, how they got to that Russia thing was bullshit. And nobody seems to understand it. And it's like, how do you not know this information? Then I remember. I remember why people don't know this information. Because the vast majority of the people get their news from outlets that don't want to talk about it. And so I laugh because one of my friends that I follow on Twitter, he's from New Zealand, and he's really into American politics. So he's always talking about American politics, but he's one of those bread tube types, the real super lefty guy. And the other day he's talking about, well, he saw the Obamagate thing and he's going, well, what are they going to make up to make Obamagate? It doesn't make any sense. What did Obama wear a tan suit? Did Obama do this one? And I'm thinking to myself, have you been paying attention at all? Have you been paying attention at all? I don't know. Who are you? Sugar Blue Driftwood. How do you know it's a nice show? Sugar Blue Driftwood. I'm glad you're here, but you know it's a nice show? I just started. And I've never seen your name before. But I thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Anyway. So anyway, how do you not know any of this? How can you say that people out there unmasking Americans under an act which, the fact that that this information about the unmasking got leaked to the Washington Post, which is illegal, even if they had authorization, even if they had a reason, even if they got a warrant, even if they got a reason to unmask people on these, it's not the Foreign Surveillance Act, these, the foreign phone calls, right? Because they're supposed to be, it's the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, whatever, is supposed to be when they're talking about, foreigners who they're watching their calls. And if Americans get caught up in the call, you have to have a particular special reason. I almost need a warrant to be able to talk about, find out about these Americans. You have to have an absolute reason. And if you leak that information, if that information gets leaked, you are in trouble. That's highly illegal. And yet, apparently dozens of people were requesting unmasking of General Flynn, got leaked to the Washington Post, and everyone just like, oh, that was just part of the investigation. What does it matter if it's part of the investigation? It's still illegal to leak it. It's considered classified. You can't tell anybody. And but it's funny because the people who were leaking it, or all the people who were, oh, did I mention Joe Biden is one of the people who unmasked General Flynn? Oh, it's crazy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, we'll try to get into it. But anyway, before I do that, I'd like to say good morning to everybody on the stream who's in the chat already. So let's start with that. Hey, good morning to the Reverend Tex Watson, who gets the bell because he was first. Good morning, sir. I feel blessed that the Reverend is here with us today. Also, good morning to Mike Savage, Blarg, and my friend from down under, Richo. Good morning, Advocatus Diaboli, the Devil's Advocate. Gunfox61, Gunny, how you doing, brother? Good morning to Low Rider. Haven't seen you here for a while, but I'm glad you're back. Good morning, Duck Dog. Good morning, Pirate Pete, the grilling dude. If you looked at the show from yesterday, I think it was yesterday that I gave you a nice little picture of some of Grillin' Pirates Pete's work. Good morning to Sean DW. What's up, fellow degenerate? Hello, Keenan. Hello, what's up? Good morning, DI Freighter Watcher. Good morning, Sean DW. Keenan. I said Keenan already. Who else is here? Let's see. I'm scrolling. Mike. I said Mike Savage. Sugar Blue Driftwood, I am so glad you're here. I hope that you like the show. I've never seen you here before, but I hope you may have been here before. You may not. I'm not sure, but I'm glad you're here right now. Also, Renee Mayette, good morning. Good morning. Okay, and I figured if history is correct, it's probably going to be a nice show. Oh, LOL. Okay, well, there you go. All right. That is certainly a compliment. Good morning, Cairo Alexander. And that's kind of it because, like I said, I'm competing with a couple shows that people that who are very much like what I do. So that's okay. Some of those people probably pop over here after Monkey's done. And I don't know. Now I'm not sure. Is HB streaming right now? I don't know. He sometimes he does this time of day. I'm on his channel. Let's see. And yes, he is. That's why. Okay. Oh, and he's watching some hearing or something. So okay, all right. So that happens. I stream the same time as some of my friends. That's cool. All right. So let's get a little bit into it. If you're not familiar with the news, well, here it is. Apparently, there's some people who've been doing some unmasking of General Flynn. And we're going to start with this one. Biden, Comey, Brennan submitted Flynn unmasking request. This is not good. Former Vice President Joe Biden and the directors of the three main U.S. intelligence agencies submitted so-called unmasking requests for information about Michael Flynn contained in highly classified intelligence reports, according to documents released Wednesday. And because those are highly classified intelligence reports, they should not have been leaked to the Washington Post. Somebody's in trouble. Somebody's in trouble. The documents show that an unmasking request was made in Biden's name on January 12, 2017. Similar requests were made under the names of James Comey, John Brennan, and James Clapper, the former directors of the FBI, CIA, and Office of the Director of National Intelligence, respectively. Good morning, Smarty Bear. How are you? Dennis McDonough, who served as the chief of staff to President Obama, also submitted a request on January 5th, 2017. The document so this is all just before the transition. It's like January 12th. It's like a week before the inauguration. These people are all, oh man. Anyway, unmasking. Here's what unmasking is, if you do not know. Unmasking describes the process whereby high-level U.S. government officials request information regarding American citizens mentioned in classified foreign intelligence reports. It is not illegal to make unmasking requests. So there you go. But the Flynn case is unique because information about phone calls he had with Russia's ambassador was leaked to the media during the presidential transition period. David Ignatius, a Washington Post columnist, mentioned the call on January 12th, 2017 in a column. Senators Chuck Grassley and Ron Johnson released the list of names on Wednesday. Richard Grenell, the acting director of national intelligence, declassified the information last Thursday and provided it to the senators this week. Paul Nakasone, the director of the National Security Agency, provided the list to Grenell on May 1st. It's not clear whether Biden or others who submitted the unmasking request saw the information related to Flynn. It is not, I'm going to read that again. It is not clear whether Biden or others who submitted the unmasking request saw the information related to Flynn. The documents released on Wednesday said that the unmasking requests were made under 16 different government officials' names for an unspecified number of intelligence reports. I think they were just trying to fuck with General Flynn. Below is a list of recipients who may have received Lieutenant General Flynn's identity in response to a request processed between 8 November 2016 and 31 January 2017 to unmask an identity that has been generically referred to in an NSA foreign intelligence report, the document stated. While the principals are identified below, we cannot confirm they saw the unmasked information. The list includes several high-profile Obama administration figures, including John Brennan, James Clapper, and Biden, but also includes lesser-known officials of the Treasury Department and the State Department. A flurry of requests were submitted in mid-December 2016, the records show. Now, what I don't understand as I read this, why did so many people, some of them having nothing to do with intelligence, like Joe Biden. I'm a funny motherfucker. Anyway, why did so many people need to know this information about this call to Kislyak? All the same call, and sometimes multiple times. Republicans is focused on the unmasking issue to try to figure out who leaked information about communications that Flynn had in late December 2016 with Sergei Kislyak, who then served as Russian ambassador to the U.S. Now, again, remember, this is the incoming national security advisor communicating with people that he'll be dealing with less than a month away. Because they tried to make this a Logan Act violation. It's like, motherfucker, he's going to make contacts. What the hell did I just do? Get off my screen. There we go. Kislyak contacted Flynn on December 28th, 2016, the same day that the Obama administration ordered 35 Russian diplomats to leave the U.S. because of Russian hacking during the presidential election. Yes. Alleged Russian hacking. Still alleged. Because, I think they're finding out some stuff. Anyway, the records do not settle the question of who made the unmasking request for information from Kislyak's communication with Flynn. What? Doesn't settle the question of who made the unmasking request for information. Oh, for the leak, I suppose. Comey suggested in testimony to the House Intelligence Committee on March 2nd, 2017, that someone in the FBI made the request that revealed that Flynn spoke with Kislyak. As we know, he was one of those people, right? Remember that? He was one of the people. He's on that list. Clapper submitted an unmasking request on December 28, 2016, the same day, according to the declassified documents. But Clapper suggested in testimony to the House Intelligence Panel that the FBI submitted the request regarding Kislyak's phone call. Now, I was just listening to Monkey in the Morning, and some of you might have come over here from there, but he made a great point about this particular thing. So if Clapper submitted an unmasking request on December 28, 2016, but then he testified to the House Intelligence Panel that the FBI submitted the request regarding Kislyak. He says, listen to this. Let me finish this part because this is important. I don't know the circumstances of the unmasking, That's a better question to direct to the FBI or the DOJ, Clapper told the House panel on July 17, 2017. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Clapper lied to the House Intelligence Committee. Clapper lied to the House Intelligence Committee. If any here want to know what the problem with that is, well, Ranty Monkey already brought it. Remember Donald Trump's lawyer? What's that dude's name? Michael something. Michael Cohen. You remember him? Do y'all remember Michael Cohen? This is a quiz for all of you who maybe not have been watching Ranty Monkey a little while ago. What is Michael Cohen in jail for right now? He's in jail right now. In fact, I don't think they've taken him out of jail to save him from COVID-19 yet, have they? What is he in jail for? Oh! Michael Cohen is in jail for lying to Congress. James Clapper submitted an unmasking request on December 28, 2016, according to the declassified documents. But Clapper suggested in testimony to the House Intelligence Panel that the FBI submitted the request regarding the Kislyak phone call. I don't know the circumstances of unmasking, That's a better question to direct to the FBI or the DOJ, Clapper told the House panel on July 17th, 2017. Ha ha ha! You lying motherfucker. Oh, CNN sucks. How are you? I'm glad you're here. Yes, I do have a show on the YouTubes every day, well, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. Yes, I do have a show, and I am so glad to see you here. CNN Sucks is a friend of ours from the Hard Bastards stream. Are you watching two streams at the same time? Are you watching streams cross? That's kind of gross. Anyway, hello, Six. How you doing? Good morning, C. Thomas, my brother. How are you, sir? All right. We're going to continue. Jan Bass. Remember, Otia, it's okay when they do it. No, it's not okay. Fuck these. Well, yeah, they seem to think so. And apparently the courts seem to think so. Some motherfucker needs to go to jail. I'm just telling you. All right, moving on. John Bass, who served as the U.S. ambassador to Turkey, submitted a request for Flynn information on the same day, December 28, 2016. Oh, wait, I skipped something. The declassified records list includes The declassified records list Comey as the only FBI official to make an unmasking request for Flynn's records. The request was submitted on December 15th, 2016, 2 weeks before Flynn spoke with Kislyak. Holy shit, he was making the request before he spoke? How'd that happen? Anyway, John Bass, who served as U.S. ambassador to Turkey, submitted a request for the Flynn information on December 28, 2016. The next request was not submitted until McDonough, the White House chief of staff, did so on January 5th. So it's funny because, okay, they said up here that Obama's, where's this at? Adams, what's his name? So the White House chief of staff, the vice president, the head of the CIA, the head of the national security advisor, or what is it? What's he? Clapper? Clapper is the ODNI, the director of national intelligence, the FBI director, the CIA director, the White House chief of staff, the vice president, somebody named the ambassador to Turkey. All these people, and but not President Obama. Did he not know? How his chief of staff did. Who's this other guy? It was Adam somebody up here. I'm trying to skim through this. Anyway, I don't think that matters so much. McDonough, the White House chief of staff, did not respond for a request to comment. The Biden campaign also did not respond for a request to comment. Oh, they commented later on Twitter, though. We'll talk about that. Yes, 2 p.m. GMT, though. 2 p.m. GMT right now. Isn't it, Mike Savage? Was it 2 p.m. or 3 p.m.? It's 9 o'clock right now because of, well, it's 9 o'clock where I am. Well, wait, ours doesn't change, so it's always 3 p.m. I am so confused. I'm so confused about that GMT thing. Anyway, all right. So, days after Flynn's contact with Kislyak, FBI and Justice Department officials began discussing whether Flynn violated the Logan Act. You know that motherfucker. That's hilarious. That's the obscure law that prohibits American citizens from negotiating with foreign governments regarding U.S. government policy. Well, the incoming administration can certainly talk with officials and make plans. You know what? Because you had less than 30 days left in office, and they were just getting to know each other. You bunch of assholes. FBI officials are... By the way, I do have my cup of reparations coffee right here. I don't have any cough syrup in it today, so if I cough a little bit, well, you know, that's how it goes. All right. FBI officials arranged to interview Flynn regarding his contacts with Kislyak. The retired lieutenant general ended up pleading guilty to making false statements to the FBI during that interview, which was conducted at the White House on January 24, 2017. Of course, they didn't tell him that they were investigating him or asking him about a possible criminal act. They just were talking. And then later decided to charge him when, even though they didn't read him his rights, didn't give him a chance to have an attorney in front of him, all that stuff. We'll get deeper to that in a minute. So anyway, real quick. All right. So that's enough of that story because there's plenty more, but I'm going to Gonna take a pause here and do my daily shill because, good ladies and gentlemen, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. If you'd be so kind to share this stream right now, hit the share button. It's down there somewhere, down kind of over there, or no, it's over there. It's over there. Yeah, there it is. It's right there. Click that share button also, or if you're on Twitter, Minds or Gabs, you can follow me right there. See, right there. Twitter's by Gab at PDawg Night, or just, tell somebody in another chat. I don't know. Hello, Chi-Town J. Also, if you like what we do, if you figured out that you like what we do, hit the like button, okay? And I'll remind you at the end, but if you leave in the middle of the stream and you liked it, but you just had to be somewhere, I still would need you to like it. So you could just save yourself some time and worry and, drama and just hit the like button now. Just click that elbow and pop that like button. And then finally, the show is sponsored by viewers like you. Support the show with your donations and have your super chats read live on the show. You can click the link right there in the chat. It's there twice for some reason. Super chat link here. The show is sponsored by viewers like you. Here, click that link. And super chats are done through Streamlabs because I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet. But you're going to help me by sharing the stream. But if you want to do super chats, you can do that through the Streamlabs link. And there's little dollar amounts. You can go check it out. Anyway, all right, so there you go. Hit the like button right now, while you're thinking about it. Perp walks. Fook that. I want the guillotine to be working overtime. Cut the cancerous traitors from the heart of our country, and all is lost. There will only be subjugation as the legacy. Thank you for the children. DI Freighter Watcher, for the children. Yes, for the children. Yes, it's confusing with the clock changes being different between here and there. So, Mike Savage, please tell me, at this moment, it's 9:27 Central Time, where I'm at, but what time is it GMT? Because I always get this confused. I can't remember +5 or +6 or whatever, but somebody got to know. For our children, hashtag for the children. Does anyone know what I'm talking about when I do that? It's for the children. If you know who said that, type in the chat, because that's from a long time ago. I can't remember if that was during the Clinton administration. But anyway, it's for the children. I'll give you a hint. It's a she. All right. Let's move on. So that was that. There's a couple articles about this that I had highlighted. Oh, so now you know how much I love the media, and sometimes I just kind of wonder how do they deal with kind of stuff. And this Newsbuster article I just found hilarious because apparently there's some news networks that didn't get this news. It's kind of interesting. So as we're looking, this is from Newsbusters. ABC and NBC ignore Flynn unmaskers getting exposed, and then CBS goes out and defends Biden. I see a lot of that defending of Biden on here. While Wednesday's CBS Evening News was the only broadcast network to even mention what Lieutenant General Michael Flynn's unmaskers had been, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn's unmaskers had been exposed after 2 Republican senators released the evidence, anti-Trump White House correspondent Paula Reed, everyone's favorite, downplayed the significance of the 3-page list of names. She also stepped up to defend the presumptive Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, Fingers Biden, as I like to call him now. Not Creepy Joe, but Fingers Biden. I know that's kind of gross. I shouldn't do that. That's kind of me. Oh, you know what? I just know. Wait a minute. Hold up. I just realized I made a mistake. I made a mistake, people, because I forgot something that's very important to the show, and I can't figure out exactly how I want to do it. Let's go. Should we go Latin today? Okay, in the chat, Latin or reggae? There's not a huge difference. No, there is, but Latin or reggae? Quick, vote now. Latin or reggae? Sean DW says, "Fuck the children." No. Oh, let me finish your sentence. Not literally Muslims. It's just a saying. Because I don't want anyone to clip that. And I said it. I can't believe it. Anyway, Latin or reggae? I'm not seeing any answers yet. Of course, it takes a few seconds. Latin. Okay, we got Latin so far. Okay. Reggae. Tis 3:30 p.m. GMT. So it's still 3. Okay. It's always going to be 3 p.m. GMT. I got to fix that when I say that. Some people will probably come here at 2 p.m. GMT, but it's 3 p.m. GMT. So my show's at, right now it's 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT. I don't know how that works. Anyway, you did reggae yesterday. Did I? No, I did beats yesterday. I know I did beats yesterday. There's Latin. Metal. C. Thomas always wants metal. Metal's on Monday. Funk is on Friday. Metal Monday, funky Friday. Metal Monday, funky Friday, and then I kind of mix it up. Metal, techno, ska. Okay, now y'all are getting silly. Ska's closer to reggae, though. Yaman. Okay, I think reggae's winning here, so we're going to go with reggae today. And I got to make sure there's no vocals in any of these. Let's do that real quick. And make sure I have enough to last through the show. And then I got to change the sound to make sure it's not too loud. All right, let's try this. Turn the volume on and... All right, that's a little loud, but you know what? I'm going to talk over it, so we'll try and see if we can turn it down just a tiny bit. That was too much, tiny bit. There we go. That looks like a good volume. Light them up, baby. Oh, yes. Oh, D.I. Freighter, you great minds. Great minds think alike. Okay, oh, but you won't hear that till about 3 or 4 seconds after I said it, but that's okay. All right, let's get into a little what Newsbusters has going on here. This is kind of funny. So Paula Reed is the only one of the main 3 broadcast channels that even talked about this. And she stepped up to defend the presumptive Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, whose names appeared on the list most recently. CBS tucked the latest Flynn case revelation into a 1-minute brief following a coronavirus report very critical of President Trump. Shocker. Here, I'm going to turn this down for me, though, because it's too loud for me. Let's see. Well, Margaret, unmasking is when a senior government official requests to know the identity of a U.S. citizen in an intelligence report. It's something that happens thousands of times a year, Paula Reed says, declaring to downplay the significance of what was exposed. Well, Paula Reed, if it happens thousands of times a year... that's a problem! That is a problem! Because you shouldn't be unmasking American citizens unless you have a reason. Maybe or perhaps a warrant or you need to have a really good reason, right? Good morning, Galactic North. How you doing? So anyway... Reed eased into acknowledging that Biden's name was among those who requested to unmask Flynn and insinuated that those outraged by it were just towing the Trump administration line. Yes, you're just a little Trumpkin if you're worried about this little bit of illegal activity by the federal government. Now, on this list of approximately 3 dozen officials, why did 3 dozen officials requested this? Is former Vice President Joe Biden and administration officials here at the Trump White House. They're suggesting that Flynn was targeted in an effort to undermine President Trump, she said. Well, at least you got it right, Paula. Reed then leaned on comments from the opposition party, suggested that it proved Flynn was a threat. But Democrats have pushed back on this and insisted that, in fact, this list illustrates how widespread the concern was about Flynn's activities and that all the appropriate laws were followed. In stark contrast, during the opening segment of a special report, that same evening, Fox News correspondent David Spunt walked viewers through how Biden was not being forthcoming about his role in the matter. And, well, let's just watch this, because here's how Fox News did it. Here's Paula Reed.
About what the acting director of national intelligence did today when he released a list of officials who asked to know the identity of Michael Flynn, then incoming national security advisor, when his name appeared in classified reports back in 2016.
Whoa, what'd I do there? That's not what I meant to do. Hang on, sorry about that.
What is the significance?
Well, Margaret, unmasking is when a senior government official requests to know the identity of a U.S. citizen in an intelligence report. It's something that happens thousands of times a year.
This happens thousands of times. Yes, it happens thousands of times. No big deal. But is it a big deal that it got leaked to the Washington Post? This is classic. When you do this unmasking of U.S. citizens, that is considered classified information. But Democrats don't have to, they don't have to protect classified information if you're a Democrat, because like James Comey said, nobody would prosecute that.
Now, on this list of approximately 3 dozen officials is...
Now notice how she says that, because on this list of approximately 3 dozen officials, there's all kinds of people who did it. It's just not
former Vice President Joe Biden.
Oh, no big deal, because he's just among about 3 dozen people who did this, and it happens thousands of times a year. Oh, no big deal at all.
Administration officials here in the Trump White House, they're suggesting that Flynn was targeted in an effort to undermine President Trump.
Yeah, okay.
But Democrats have pushed back on this and insisted that, in fact, this list illustrates how widespread the concern was about Flynn's activities and that
widespread
all the appropriate laws were followed.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, so the concern was widespread. So all these different people had to unmask the name, was it Brennan or Clapper? One of those two, 3 times. Like, you didn't get the information the first time? I don't get it. Anyway.
Yesterday.
Now here's the contrast. No big deal. CBS, no big deal.
Vice President Biden was asked about what he knew about the Flynn investigation. He changed his tune, though, after it was pointed out to him that he was in that January 5th briefing.
Yeah, I remember how he just downplayed. I didn't know what was going on.
Then President Obama about Michael Flynn. Listen.
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, number one.
Oh, well, good thing he's not under oath right now, right?
One. Number 2, this is all about diversion.
I do want to press that. You say you didn't know anything about it, but you were reported to be at a January 5th, 2017 meeting where you and the president were briefed on the FBI's plan to question Michael Flynn over those conversations he had with the Russian ambassador Kislyak.
George was actually doing his job a little bit here. Oh, my God.
No, I thought you asked me whether or not I had anything to do with him being prosecuted.
Wait, whoa. You answered that, though. Wait a minute. You answered the question, Joe. What was it? Here, hang on a second. Joe, you answered the question. What are you talking about? Let's see. Here's how he answered the question.
Michael Flynn, listen.
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, number 1.
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn. That he's answered the question about what did you know about the investigation of Michael Flynn, and he says, I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn. Let's just hold that in our memory banks right now.
Number 2, this is all about diversion.
I do want to press that. You say you
I know nothing about the moves to investigate Michael Flynn.
2017 meeting where you and the president were briefed on.
I know nothing about the moves to investigate Michael Flynn.
The FBI's plan to question Michael Flynn over those conversations he had with the Russian ambassador Kislyak.
No, I thought you asked me whether or not I had anything to do with him being prosecuted.
Oh, wait a minute. Because the question was about the investigation. You answered the question about the investigation. I knew nothing about the plans to investigate Michael Flynn. And now you're saying, I thought the question was about him being prosecuted. Yeah. What's... Lies, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was aware that they asked for an investigation, but that's all.
oh, wait a minute. I was aware they had asked for an investigation. What was he saying over here?
Number two.
Wait, no, I want number one.
Flynn, listen.
I know nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, number one.
I knew nothing about those moves to investigate Michael Flynn, number one.
Anything to do with him being prosecuted.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was aware that they asked for an investigation.
Oh my gosh, that's only 20 seconds later. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying.
Okay, there goes monetization for this video. Oh wait, I'm not monetized. I don't have to worry about it. Okay.
That's all I know about.
Oh, that's all I know.
Then on
And
January
then
12th, just
there's
8
his
days-
name. This is the unmasking list. That is the thumbnail of this video. What's his name again? Oh, thank you, Dick Hurts, for the super chat. Dick Hurst says the cough medicine fund. Yeah, I should probably get some more cough medicine. Thank you so much, Mr. Dick Hurts. If you want to participate in the super chat program, hey, there's a link in the chat there somewhere. You can find it. And I appreciate all the fine people who do super chats, and I appreciate all the fine people who participate in the chat. I appreciate the people who lurk in the background, but this absolutely helps me go along. So yeah, you lying motherfucker. I'm saying that a lot today. By the way, can I get an FTG for Joe Biden right now? In fact, I got a whole list of FTGs, but let's start with Joe Biden. Let's start with Joe Biden. FTG, Joe Biden, thank you.
President Trump was inaugurated.
In fact, I'm going to add one myself. Here we go. FTG, Joe. Oh, what the hell did I do there? The hell? No, that's not what I want. I meant to go right here. Oh, I hit the okay. FTG Joe Biden. There we go. FTG Joe Biden. That's right.
That's right.
All right. How you doing, Black Hebrew Israelite? All right. Oh, you lying motherfucker, Joe Biden. All right, here we go.
Biden made the request as we.
Oh, I'm sorry. FTG Fingers. That's what I should put. I'm gonna start over. FTG Fingers, because that's his new name. Here we go.
From the documents.
Okay, that's it. So anyway, let's see. A recent media research study showed how the broadcast networks were less interested in Flynn's case getting dropped than when he accepted a plea deal. Now, two are ignoring it, and the others defending their 2020 candidate. Let's see. All right. So anyway, ABC, but hey, at least CBS talked about it, right? ABC and NBC didn't report. And that's why when you go on Twitter under things like Obamagate or Flynn or unmasking or any of that shit, the people who are TDS impaired, the TDS impaired people have no idea what the hell you're talking about because they just haven't heard it. So anyway, what is Lowrider? Biden says the red crayons taste the best. Oh, by the way, while we're in FTG mode, I think we can have an FTG for James Clapper. And FTG for Comey. And an FTG for, who's the other one? DNI, Clapper, Comey. John Brennan. And he gets a super capital letter FTG, even if I don't spell it right. All right, let's move on. Let's see. I have one more. Do I want to keep talking about this? The Federalist article is pretty good too, but this is more just this is just the info. Well, here it is interesting though. I got to show it to you. Now we're going to move on to some koof news. Since Joe could be suffering from dementia, he could think he's telling the truth. Yeah. Well, what happens, and I know that, like, for example, my mom's 90 years old, and sometimes she'll ask you a question, and you'll answer that question, you're in the middle of the conversation, then like 3 or 4 minutes later in the same conversation, she'll ask you the same question because she's just having some trouble with her memory. And I understand that happens. I've gone through, in fact, both my grandmothers went through that a little bit, and my great aunt, 2 of my great aunts, who ended up living with us in their last days, all went through that. You know, you forget what you say not a few minutes ago. And so Joe saying that makes me worried that, I don't know, I'm waiting for the debates. That's what I'm waiting for. I hope there are debates. I hope Joe makes it to the debates. And it's going to be really interesting when he does something like that in the middle of a debate where he said just not 2 minutes ago one answer, and then he said, well, I didn't understand the question, and here's a completely different answer to the question you already answered. That was the thing, you know the deal. Anyway, so let's see, we'll go with the Federalist version. Declassified list of Obama officials who unmasked Michael Flynn includes James Clapper, John Brennan, and Joe Biden. 8 different Obama administration officials sought to unmask Michael Flynn's identity from National Security Agency intercepts between December 29th and January 12th. This just lists. Here's the document right here, sent to Chuck Grassley and Ron Johnson. It's a memorandum from the Director of National Intelligence, which would be currently, U.S. Army Director. This is a memorandum for the Director of National Intelligence. Per your email request as of 3 May 2020, I'm providing a revised list of identities of any officials who submit a request to the National Security Agency at any point between 8 November 2016 and 31 January 2017 to unmask the identity of former National Security Advisor Lieutenant General Michael T. Flynn, U.S. Air Force retired. The original list was in alphabetical order. The revised list is in chronological order, including the date and the request was received. So here he goes through this. Samantha Power, Ambassador to the United Nations. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Deputy Chief of Mission, Kelly Degnan. I don't know who that is. She does it once. U.S. Ambassador to Italy and the Republic of San Marino, John R. Phillips. Why? I don't know. Director of the CIA, John Brennan, December 14th and December 15th. Let's see. The CIA Director, or who's that? OIA Director, Patrick Conian, whoever that is, December. Secretary of the Treasury, Jacob Lew. These people are on a fishing expedition. Twice, acting Assistant Secretary of the Treasury, Arthur Danny McLinn. Acting Deputy Assistant Secretary of Treasury, Mike Newfield. Secretary of the Treasury, Sarah Raskin. Secretary of Treasury, Nathan Sheets. Oh my gosh, look at this list. We got Adam Steuben. He's the acting Undersecretary of the Treasury. U.S. NATO Defense Advisor, Robert Bell. U.S. Representative to the NATO Military Committee, Vadim Christensen. Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, James Comey. Remember James Comey? No, PDawg Night. I did it on purpose to drive my kids crazy. No. Do it to drive my kids crazy. No. Okay, I got it. What? I don't know what I said there. Anyway. Let's see. Who else is on here? Now they do redact some names. Now I don't know why. Advisor Ambassador Douglas Lute. I don't know why they're redacting parts of this. Let's see if there's any other good names on here. This is the Deputy Chief of U.S. Mission to NATO, U.S. Permanent Representative to NATO, Executive Briefer, Political Officer Michael Scott Parrish, NATO Political Officer, U.S. Department of Energy Secretary, Deputy Secretary Elizabeth Sherwood Randall. Why are all these people asking for this? U.S. Ambassador to Russia, Don Telft. U.S. Ambassador to Turkey, Ambassador Bass. Chief of Staff, President of the President of the United States Chief of Staff. Now, this is the one that is especially special because you know how Obama just likes to be aloof and pretend that, oh well, yes, I didn't know about that, but I did hear it on the news yesterday. So perhaps if you let me know, I'll try to figure it out, and then I'll go to 57 states. Obama just always like to keep his fingerprints off shit, but his chief of staff requested it. I wonder who his chief of staff was requesting this for. I didn't know about it. I heard about it in the news when they said they were investigating. I read it in the Washington Post. David Ignatius wrote that article. I saw it in the paper. That's how I found out about it. Anyway, Deputy Director of National Intelligence Integration, Michael Dempsey. Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, Stephanie O'Sullivan. CIA CTMC, redacted. And finally, the Vice President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden. January 12th, 2017. I didn't know anything about them investigating. I didn't know anything about him. I can't do a Biden voice. Anyway, Obama never asked. He isn't dumb enough to do so and leave a paper trail. Yeah, it's you're keeping that paper trail kind of clean there, aren't you? So anyway, did I close the other one? Oh, here we go. So here's the last thing about Obamagate is another Federalist article. It's a little late. Well, not super lengthy, but we're gonna go through this one anyway. Oh, now because a lot of people have been calling Obamagate a conspiracy theory. Okay, that's what you're hearing from. If you go on MSNBC, it's a conspiracy theory. Anything that it's against Democrats, I'm going to repeat this, anything that goes against Democrats is a conspiracy theory, okay? Just got to make sure you understand that anything that goes against Democrats is a conspiracy theory, and I will, for YouTube purposes, yes, anything that goes against Democrats is conspiracy theory. Okay, so anyway. Gate isn't a conspiracy theory. It's the biggest political scandal of our time. Now, this is a pretty good article to use as a primer for someone who says, Obamagate, that's a bullshit title. Here we go. When former President Barack Obama told supporters last week that the Justice Department's decision to drop a case against former White House National Security Advisor Michael Flynn is a threat to the rule of law, he was relying wholly on the fiction willingly propagated for years by a pliant media that the Russia-Trump collusion probe launched by his administration was lawful and legitimate. But of course it wasn't. A string of recently released documents have confirmed that the entire Russia-Trump investigation, which eventually entrapped Flynn and forced then Attorney General Jeff Sessions to recuse himself, was an unprecedented abuse of power that amounted to an organized effort by the Obama administration to nullify the results of the 2016 presidential election. It was in effect an attempted coup. Now this is a opinion piece, so let me just remind you that it is an opinion piece. Spot on. If you haven't picked up that from the news media, it's not your fault. Instead of grappling with the implications of newly released details about what Obama officials were doing to undermine the incoming Trump administration during the transition, the mainstream media have fixated on Trump's use of the term. Whoops, wait, let's try that again. Have fixated on the term gate, dismissing it as a conspiracy theory. So here's a brief history. This is to be expected. For years now, the media have done have done everything they can to push the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, even after a years-long special counsel investigation by Robert Mueller that turned up nothing, using the complexity of the scheme and to hide the greatest political scandal of our time in plain sight. A key aspect of that scheme was and is to make the case against Flynn appear legitimate. Flynn faced trumped-up charges that he misled FBI agents about conversations he had with then Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak in the weeks before Trump's inauguration. As the incoming national security advisor, Flynn was doubtless having conversations with numerous heads of state and ambassadors during this time, so there was nothing unusual about him talking with the Russian ambassador. But the Obama administration already knew about the conversations with Kislyak because it had recordings of them. Thanks to a series of investigations, it spun out of the Crossfire Hurricane and counterintelligence probe of the Trump campaign. Crossfire Hurricane, launched in the summer of 2016, was itself a bogus investigation based on the Steele dossier, an entirely fraudulent document riddled with Russian disinformation and paid for by the Democratic Party. They left out something here, and the Hillary Clinton campaign. So why did the FBI want to interview Flynn ahead of Trump's inauguration in January 2017? Because they wanted a pound of flesh for losing. Top brass of the FBI weren't exactly sure about their approach, but they knew they needed to get Flynn out of the way, as the Bureau's former head of counterintelligence, Bill Priestap, recorded in his notes, quote, "What is our goal? Truth, admission, or to get him to lie so we can prosecute him or get him fired? Not to see if he will lie, not to get the truth, but active verb to get him to lie." That's an active verb. Get him to lie so we can prosecute him or get him fired. Apparently, the Obama administration settled on trying to entrap him in a lie. The recent disclosure of an early January 2017 Oval Office meeting attended by Obama, Vice President Joe Biden, National Security Advisor Susan Rice, Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, the FBI Director James Comey, confirms the administration's plan to hide the Russia probe from the incoming Trump team, including Flynn. The idea was to use the Kislyak call as a pretext to keep the Flynn investigation open because they were going to close it. Remember? And who kept it open? Who was it? That was that guy. The guy who was stripping the chick over there in the other department. Peter Strzok. Yes, Peter Strzok. Peter Strzok, the lovebirds, and his lovely lovebird lover, Lisa Page. The lovely Lisa Page. The idea was, and after months of spying on him, the FBI found nothing to indicate Flynn was conspiring with the Russians. As Rice wrote in an email to herself, "Dear self," quote, "President Obama said he wants to be sure that as we engage with the incoming team, we are mindful to ascertain if there's any reason that we cannot share the information fully as it relates to Russia." The point was to keep the Flynn investigation open as a way for Obama holdovers like Comey, Yates, and the former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe to continue the Rush-Trump collusion probe even after Trump took office, and keep Flynn, Trump's national security advisor, out of the loop. Since there was no reason to keep investigating Flynn, the Obama administration invented one: the preposterous notion that he intentionally misled the incoming Vice President Mike Pence about his conversations with Kislyak and then lied about it to the FBI. Now, one thing that they keep doing on Twitter, and I laugh every time they do it, because they talk about a tweet that Trump tweeted that said, "Okay, take it easy, C. Thomas. I gotta go, boomer." I resembled that remark. The funny thing that gets keep throwing out there that Trump tweeted that he fired Michael Flynn because he lied to the vice president, right? That tweet is always thrown back at you when you start talking about this. And I get a chuckle about that, because why would the president of the United States think that Michael Flynn lied to the vice president? Well, because that's what the FBI told him. Okay? Why would he not believe the FBI when they told him that? So he said, yeah, I had to let Michael Flynn go because he lied to Vice President Mike Pence. But did he? Anyway, there was no evidence this happened, but even if there were, it wouldn't matter. As the Justice Department explained in its decision to drop the Flynn case, the investigation of Flynn was untethered to and unjustified by the FBI counterintelligence investigation. Later, top FBI and Justice Department officials gave the House Intelligence Committee different answers about why they were pursuing Flynn. Comey, McCabe, Yates, and Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General Mary McCord all gave conflicting testimony about the primary purpose of the FBI interview with Flynn, ranging from the outlandish notion that he violated the Logan Act, a constitutionally dubious 1799 law forbidding unauthorized citizens from negotiating with foreign governments, to the concocted charge that he lied to the FBI, which even the agents that conducted the interview with him did not believe. The Flynn case is just one piece of a much larger story of how the Obama administration, with the full knowledge and support of both Obama and Biden, targeted incoming Trump officials in a failed attempt to cripple the new administration with allegations that it colluded with Moscow. The complexity of their scheme and the efforts to hide it and mislead the American people are frustrating. The cast of characters from high-ranking Obama administration officials to relative nobodies loosely associated with Trump's 2016 presidential campaign is long, as is the timeline of events. Details have been coming out slowly. It in fits and starts over the course of years. Following all the leaks and declassified transcripts and congressional hearings requires constant vigilance. If you don't keep up with it, like the people on Twitter who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, you can easily lose the thread. That all works to the advantage of those who perpetrated this hoax, because it's easy to get overwhelmed and tune it all out, or simply accept the corporate media's deceptive reporting. But the ongoing revelations about the FBI's targeting of Flynn cannot be ignored. They demand a full accounting if there ever was a threat to the rule of law. It was the Obama administration's abuse of power and its weaponization of intelligence agencies in an attempt to take down Trump. However convoluted it may seem, pay attention to it. It's the biggest political scandal of our time. Yes, sir, it is. All right, let's move on. Now, there's a couple other things. Apparently, I know you all have heard about Judge Sullivan. Judge Sullivan is attempting to not accept the government's decision to drop the case against Michael Flynn. He's invited some anti-Trump judge to file an amicus brief, and there's all kinds of bullshit going on with that. Well, now I'm not necessarily a fan of Jim. Oh, Joe Hoft. I didn't know this. Just Jim Hoft have a brother. Anyway, there's a little problem that they're having, or they're gonna have, when he tries to not do this. So apparently, there's an attorney named Saul Weisenberg, shared with Laura Ingraham on the Ingraham Angle tonight that the actions of Judge Sullivan to go against a recent case on the matter in the D.C. Circuit. Wait, what? If the DOJ or government wants to dismiss a case they propose, a judge cannot refuse the government's right to do so. He's contemplating not allowing this, the government's asking the case to be dismissed, that they're no longer going to pursue the case. Well, there's a case just recently that's going to give Judge Sullivan a little bit of trouble. The judge overseeing the General Flynn case, Judge Sullivan, can I get an FTG for Judge Sullivan anyway, has shown his disdain for the rule of law. He accused General Flynn of treason during one court hearing. He is clearly a deep state hack. Now he wants to bring another judge into the case to determine if it's right for the DOJ to dismiss the case against Flynn. Sullivan's court is rumored to also want to indict Flynn for lying to the court when he pleaded guilty to a crime he didn't commit after being coerced into it by the Mueller gang and his own attorneys, I might add. His own attorneys told him to take this deal. now that they're not his attorneys anymore, and we're figuring out that a partner in that firm just happens to be Obama's wingman. You know who that is. Anyway, now he wants to bring Sullivan's court is rumored. Okay, I already said that. The Mueller gang threatened to indict the general's son if he didn't plead guilty. The entire disgusting case against Flynn is the most corrupt of our lifetime. Yet Judge Sullivan won't let it end. Well, here's the reason why it's going to end. Apparently, there's the case called the Fokker case. Meet the Fokkers. This motherfucker case that just came out 2 years ago. The D.C. Circuit, which governs Judge Sullivan, made it very clear, quote, if the government wants to dismiss a case, the district court cannot refuse to do so because, I see. The district court can't refuse to do so because he doesn't like the government's theory, because he thinks the government should continue the case, and it doesn't matter if the defendant has pled or not. Here, let's see. I'm just going to read this because I don't want to go through the back and forth between him and Laura Ingraham. Here's the case referred to by Weisenberg in the Harvard Law Review. So this is the precedent here. Since the Arthur Anderson prosecution, in which thousands of innocent workers lost their jobs, the Department of Justice has increasingly turned to deferred prosecution agreements, DPAs, to avoid the collateral consequences of a corporate criminal conviction. And that's references too big to jail, something here. In the DPA, the government agrees to dismiss filed charges if a corporation complies with negotiated conditions that are aimed at punishing the misconduct and allowing the corporation to demonstrate rehabilitation. Traditionally, judicial scrutiny over DPA terms has been essentially non-existent. Mike Kohler measuring the impact of non-prosecution and deferred prosecution agreements, blah, 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 blah. Here, let's see. Based on a survey of 12... Okay, here's the important part. The D.C. Circuit subsequently curtailed these efforts in a United States versus Fokker Services, in which it held that to preserve the executive's long-settled primacy over charging, a court is not authorized to reject a DPA based on a finding that the charging decisions and conditions agreed to in the DPA are inadequate. So, as a matter of established law, the judiciary is not to second-guess the executive's decisions of whether to initiate charges, whom to prosecute, which charges to bring, and whether to dismiss charges. So there's a precedent against him not allowing the DOJ to dismiss the charges. The ruling states that it is the government's duty to charge individuals with crimes and to dismiss cases, not the court's decision. Judge Sullivan's actions are now putting him in contention in the race for the title of the most corrupt judge, followed closely by fellow DC Judge Amy Berman Jackson. So anyway, there is precedent, and Judge Sullivan seems to be out of line. All right. We're already at that time. I thought I'd get through a couple more articles, but I didn't. So let's get into a little Twitter fucketry. So let's see what's trending today. Thank you. Let me go quick by notifications here. Thank you, Becca Farley, for tweeting out the show. I appreciate that. Also, Tyler F, Chi-Town J, also for retweeting the show. Also, RVA. And I think, thank you, Cynical Lindsay, also for tweeting out the show. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. All you people who do that. And thank you, Jay Wolf. I don't remember if you're here or not. I probably could scroll through and figure it out. I think you're here. Thank you for that article from Gateway Pundit also about the precedent in this case that Judge Sullivan seems to think he can tell you whether or not the government can drop charges or not. That's the government's purview, not the judge's. So I think Sullivan's, even though he's bringing in an amicus brief, he's doing a show trial right now. And I think they could immediately appeal to the Supreme Court, showing this precedent and say, sorry, Judge Sullivan, fuck off. Anyway, just how I would treat it. Okay. All right, let's check the trends today. What's odd? That's so odd. I'm not sure what's so odd. Check your logic, but hi, check your logic. On the Explore tab on the Twitters today, oh, shocker, it's coronavirus. Health officials in England approve a Roche test. I don't know what that means. A Roche test. Public Health England has approved an antibody test made by Swiss pharmaceutical company Roche, which may now be used to determine how much of the population has been infected with coronavirus. Read this and more. Nearly 3 million more Americans file for unemployment. Yep, they love that news on Twitter. So good. It's going to be interesting to see what we're finding. Okay, look. They're finding that almost half the people that they test with these antibody tests have already had COVID-19, already have the antibody action in their bloodstream, and meaning that the vast majority of people who've had this disease or get this disease are asymptomatic, which means also that the actual death rate or even sickness rate, well, especially the death rate of this, is way, way lower than ever expected. It's really sad that we're losing, that we've lost some 84,000 people in the United States. Across Europe, almost 200,000 people when you add them all up. And in those 5 countries that their population adds up to roughly the same population of the United States, they're about like 126,000 people dead from this, from the worst extreme of this. Now, again, most of these people are dying, have the comorbidities. There's very few people, ages 0 to 18, almost non-existent deaths from the particular virus. Not non-existent, but it's a minuscule percentage. And even when you go ages 0 to 45, it's very few. Mostly people who have other health conditions, mostly people who are old, have lung conditions, other things that make it difficult for you to recover from anything in your lungs. So most of these people generate a type of pneumonia that ends up killing them. But it's not nearly as deadly as they were expecting, because they were expecting some 2 million deaths in the United States. Now that was based on a model that probably was not so accurate, but still. Anyway, do I really want to go through any of this? It's mostly British COVID news. I'm going to skip that. Hang on one second. I got a couple more notifications here. Let me see if I got there. Also, thank you, Necrosaw Collins, too, for retweeting the show out. I really appreciate it. All right. So let's get into the Twitter trends for the day. As soon as I figure out, they've changed how you do the Twitter trends tab, so I have to click a couple different ways now, but there they are. Trending number 1 on Twitter today is Paper Mario. Apparently there's a new game coming out. The Origami King is coming to excuse me. Paper Mario, the Origami King, is coming to Nintendo Switch in July. If you have a Switch, that's a new game for you to play there. What does that mean? Let's see. Original Origami King Short Combat System Showcase. I don't know. Maybe do you make paper warriors or something? I don't know. That's kind of funny. But anyway, if you have a Nintendo Switch, there's a new game coming out. Dr. Bright is trending. Now I don't know who Dr. Bright is. Let's find out. Dr. Bright this is this. This is this jackass. This is the guy who is they're calling him a whistleblower. Dr. Bright, and they're gonna be pumping this guy for a couple weeks now. Dr. Bright, who filed a whistleblower complaint last week, tells House members Americans deserve the truth and that scientists must be allowed to speak without fear of retribution. Now that is fascinating to me, that he says scientists must be allowed to speak without fear of retribution. Do you remember a week or so ago, maybe it was 2 weeks, I don't know how long ago it was but there was these 2 doctors in California who were speaking about how we're dealing with this whole COVID-19 thing, this whole coronavirus thing. And they were critical of the response they were doing, saying, we have a different opinion about this. And what happened to in fact, the report wasn't even those doctors' channel. They were interviewed by they had a news conference, a bunch of different stations in LA did a news conference with these guys. And then somebody one of those stations put that video on YouTube. Does anybody know where that video is now? I'll give you a hint. It's in the memory hole. Hello, Kingslayer Damocles. It's in the memory hole. YouTube deleted it. Without fear, scientists must be allowed to speak without fear of retribution unless you don't agree with the current narrative or the prevailing wisdom. Now, I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, but being able to speak without fear of retribution is a really challenging concept. Thank you for subscribing, Defucked. I don't know if that's Defucked, F-A-K-T, Defucked, or if it's Defact, but I'm glad you've subscribed. Okay. So yeah, and then there's also a little documentary that seems to be called Plandemic. Now, I watched this at least a couple weeks ago, right? Yeah. They were removed and banned from all social media. Yeah. Oh, scientists must be allowed to speak without fear of retribution. What about the scientists who disagree with Dr. Fauci? The short documentary Plandemic that was on YouTube a couple weeks ago had a scientist who disagreed with Dr. Fauci, and that video was deleted from YouTube, deleted from Twitter, deleted from all social media, except for that documentary survives on BitChute. So you can go look up Plandemic Part 1 on BitChute, and you'll be able to see that. But without fear of retribution. Oh, unless you speak against. Now, let's see. We're listening to Dr. Bright testify before Congress. It exposes how badly our government is broken under Trump, even beneath the top layers. It's because Trump has one singular concern, see image, and that singular concern is neither the American people. Whatever. You know what? Dr. Bright seems unable to answer questions, even set up questions by the Democrats directly. That's interesting. Marshall Cohen, who is reported CNN, Representative Burgess, a Republican and a doctor, says he's heard from a lot of physicians that hydroxychloroquine plus azithromycin is helpful early on for COVID patients. HHS whistleblower Dr. Bright responds by saying that is anecdotal evidence, not a large-scale scientific study. So, at a House hearing from Dr. Bright, Republican ranking member Dr. Michael Burgess points out that the Democrat-run subcommittee has not held a single hearing on coronavirus yet until a whistleblower came forward to trash Donald Trump. Oh, point well taken. Oh, and then we have Yamiche Alcindor, the NPR reporter who loves to ask very loaded questions. In fact, she doesn't ask questions. She gives a speech and asks, "What do you think?" It's usually a left-wing talking point speech. She says, Dr. Bright tells Congress, Americans deserve the truth. The truth must be based on science. We have the world's greatest scientists. Let us lead. Let us speak without fear of retribution. Who is, this begs the question. Who is Dr. Anthony Fauci? Anybody? Who is Dr. Anthony? Dr. Anthony Fauci is the lead scientist on the team that's making all these policy decisions and has been since the beginning. He's always been on the team. And they followed everything he's recommended. What do you mean? Let us lead. Dr. Fauci is why we have 30 million Americans unemployed right now. Well, actually, the virus is, but his recommendations certainly have helped, huh? What are you talking about, Dr. Not So Bright? Dr. Fauci, Bright says, even if a coronavirus vaccine is developed, the nation isn't ready to distribute a potential coronavirus vaccine in a fair and equitable way, and that no one company will be able to make enough vaccine doses for all people who will need it. Without better planning, 2020 could be the darkest winter in modern history. Our nation is not prepared as we should have been. Some scientists raised early warning signals that were overlooked. Bullshit! They weren't overlooked. We've always been working with the best information we have. The information we had in the beginning was shit. And so that makes it harder when your information is shit. Because when your information is shit, you can't respond to things. Now, there's also a lot of things that we didn't know about this virus. Not just because the information was shit, but also because we didn't have the virus to study because China wasn't giving it up. They had the problem, but weren't giving us samples of the virus. That's why we had so much trouble getting a test in the beginning. That's why the CDC, when they were trying to make a test, were fucking up in the beginning and they had to start over. That's why we don't. What's funny thing is though, everyone compares us to South Korea, right? Everyone's trying because we had this many cases at the same time. Well, South Korea had people in China, just happened to be in Wuhan during the time that this started breaking out, and they went and got samples of this, so they had a head start. But China wasn't giving the samples out. The South Koreans just happened to have the samples of this. We talked about that. I talked about that probably sometime in late February. We were talking about that because the South Koreans don't trust China. And we were following the recommendations and information that we were getting from the WHO.
China is asshole.
And that put us way behind where we could have been. Now, facts are, the people who've been making all the recommendations have been followed. Dr. Fauci in particular, Dr. Birx in particular. Tell me how we did not follow Dr. Fauci's recommendations. If you could find a way to tell me how we did not follow Dr. Fauci's recommendations, then maybe I'll give you some leeway on this. But this is a fucking virus too. Dr. Fauci's been wrong a few times too, right? Remember on March 6th when he was saying to the Today Show that most people aren't going to have to make changes to their life. This, you can, if you're not in a big time infected, you don't have to make any big changes to your life. Then 10 days later, we're telling people to shut down their fucking states. So, and then Chuck smarmy fuck piece of shit Chuck Schumer. I'm getting a little heated, aren't I? Is this a rant? Is this a rant? Chuck Schumer tweets, a parade of truth tellers begins. Tuesday, Dr. Fauci. Wednesday, Chairman Powell. Thursday, Dr. Bright. In this big, grand, diverse, beautiful country, you cannot suppress the truth forever. Fuck you, Chuck Schumer. FTG. Chuck. What the hell did I just do? That's not what I wanted. FTG Chuck. You fuck. Oh, Brooklyn Dad Defiant whistleblower Dr. Bright is testifying right now. You should check this out. He just said without better planning, 2020 could be the darkest winter in modern history. Really? Well, let me ask you something, Brooklyn Dad Defiant. I'm thinking perhaps if we're finding out that half the people tested have the antibodies for this this disease, perhaps there's going to be a lot of people who have some immunity to this disease. So is it going to be as bad as you think or not? It's hard to tell, but I guess we'll find out. Without better planning, 2020 could be the darkest winter in modern history. No, I doubt it. Oh man, and they are just, they're so excited for Dr. Bright. So anyway, that's why Dr. Bright is trending. Moving on. Thursday thoughts, rest in peace, America. Oh, let's go RIP America. Yeah, this will be good. David Jones, Luxembourg and Sweden are not socialist countries. They're free markets with social welfare programs similar to the United States. They are not socialist. Okay, I don't know why he's brought that up. Rest in peace, America's public school system. It's producing clueless people. Well, that's... I don't disagree with that. Wow. It's about the truth, about distracting from 80,000 American dead on his watch. He's depending on Cold 45, not reading and not taking him and fixing it. Okay, whatever. Rest in peace, America. Nick, seriously, liberal Democrats like this want you and your country to die if you won't vote for their shitty party. They are happy about rest in peace, America. Yeah, that hashtag justice, hashtag activism. Nobody cares. Thursday morning we'll skip. Color Splash will skip. Something about Sticker Star. I don't know what that is. Blake Snell, having to do with Diane Keaton. Blake Snell's a baseball player, isn't he? Tampa Bay Rays ace Blake Snell said he will not play this season for a reduced salary, especially because the risk of contracting COVID-19 is just not worth it. Okay, you don't have to play baseball. You don't have to play at all, Jake. Or Blake, or whatever the hell your name is. See, you wouldn't want to be you. Moving on. Obama Gate is probably the only way they could get that one trending, by making it we've been talking about that enough. Let's just do the top one. Oh, Miss Krasenstein. That would be Brian Krasenstein, or his uglier twin brother, tweeting under the name of one of their wives, says, Obamagate conspiracy theorists who want to claim that Obama broke the law by doing something 100% legal are so desperate to take attention away from Trump's disastrous COVID-19 response that they are creating new hashtags like Obamagate just so they can make it trend again. Hey, I got an idea. FTG Krasensteins. There we go. FTG Krasensteins. Moving on. We've got Thursday Vibes, skip. TTTY, that's some video games. I'm going to skip that. Burr is trending. FBI serves a warrant on Senator Richard Burr in probe of stock sell-off linked to the coronavirus, LA Times reports. The Republican senator from North Carolina, who is also chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, turned over a cell phone to federal agents after they served him a search warrant as part of the investigation into stock trades he made that preceded the market crash caused by the pandemic. The Department of Justice investigation is looking into whether Burr violated a law preventing members of Congress from trading on insider information they have gleaned from their official work. Now, it's interesting that they haven't subpoenaed Kelly Loeffler yet or Dianne Feinstein yet, but it is interesting. Also, Burr is one of those anti-Trumper guys too, which is interesting. But anyway, so yeah, and there's people are the hashtag Burr should resign are trending. You know what? If he did that, hell yeah, he should resign. He's a FTG. In fact, here, let's go there. FTG Burr. I added an extra R there, but that's okay. Moving on. Rick Bright. Yep, we already know why he's there. 1,000-Year Door. It's a video game. I'm going to skip that. Burgess. Wait, trending with Representative Burgess. What is Representative Burgess? Is that someone who's doing some questioning? Representative Burgess is a Republican and a doctor. Oh, that's the same guy who was asking questions. Here's his. Okay, I just got dumber listening to Congressman Burgess asking Dr. Bright questions about hydroxychloroquine. Okay, we talked about that. The anecdotal stories. Don't care. All right, Mr. Nice Guy, Sticker Star, I don't know what that is. Nothing real interesting in here. Why Diane Keaton is trending, I don't know. and Maria Bartiromo. Okay, I'm just going to skip that. We're going to finish with one last thing here, and that is, so there's a CNN poll, or should I say CNN poll. Now, again, this may be an outlier, outlier, kind of like a, oh, that didn't work. That didn't work either. What the hell's going on with my, did I screw the pooch here? Did I do something to make this not work? I must have. Let's see. There you go. It's an outlier, but not that kind of liar. Anyway, apparently there's a CNN poll shows Trump crushing Biden in battleground states. The CNN poll of 15 crucial battleground states show President Trump crushing Joe Biden by a full 7 points. The poll covered the expected swing states of Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Mexico, New North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Wisconsin. In his national poll, fake news outlets shows Burisma Biden. Fingers, not Burisma. We'll call him Fingers Biden, beating Trump by 51 to 46%. But the presidency is not a national race. It's a race of each of the 50 states. So apparently in this other poll, I'm not going to get into it too deep because I got to go, but so it shows him in the battleground states in the lead. It'll be interesting because all these governors who have their who are insisting on keeping their states closed longer and longer and longer, and who knows if they're right or wrong. I don't know that we have a system where we gotta where you can keep people closed up forever, but a lot of those states are battleground states, and they're run by Democratic governors, and it's just interesting to see if that strategy is going to backfire for them, because we know. Oh, by the way, it's official in the special election in California 25. The Republican candidate beat the Democratic candidate by almost 13 points. They have 100% of their total in, so that seat has changed. Katie Hill's. I don't have a nickname for her, but Katie Hill is that's Katie Hill's seat. Anyway, this is not good. Here's some breaking. A NYU study shows coronavirus tests being used at the White House could be inaccurate half the time. That's oof. That's an oof. Of course, that's over at Hot Air. Anything else new coming up? Let me see here. I'm just going to scroll and not put it on the screen right now. Let's see. Good numbers coming out of Trump tweeted 2 hours ago. Good numbers coming out of the states that are opening. America is getting its life back. Vaccine work is looking very promising before the end of the year. Likewise, other solutions. Okay. Comet is flying towards the Earth, could be visible with the naked eye. That's coming up. Let's see. Anything else earth-shattering? Other than Dr. Bright. I might have to watch that testimony later. The House Judiciary GOP Committee, Sally Yates first learned about the Flynn wiretapping from no less than President Barack Obama in a January 5th, 2017 Oval Office meeting. At least one of the unmaskers must have told Obama. Yeah, we've been talking about that, haven't we? Well, seeing as his own personal chief of staff and the White House chief of staff both were on that unmasking list, I wonder who told the president. Anyway, and on that note, hello, Becca Farley, how you doing? And also, hello, Gamer Bleen. Monkey must have just got done. Anyway, unfortunately, I have to be done too, because it's time for me to go to where I have to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today on the Morning Night Live. As you know, we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and apparently it's 3 p.m. GMT. I don't know. If you use our time, use the American time, because the American time is the best time. It's the very best time. It's the time that everyone wants. So anyway, thanks again for being here. I am, if you would be so kind, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button on the way out. Check that like button. And if you will share the stream, that would be great. If you're watching on replay, make a comment down below so that I know you were here. And finally, if you want to make a donation to the show or do super chats in the future, you can always do that through the Streamlabs link in the description down below or right here at PDawgNight.live. It says it right there, but it usually shows up in the chat. It's in the description and all that stuff. So anyway, I gotta go. Thanks everybody. Have a great what's today? Thursday. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. My name's PDawg Night, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawg Night, and thank you for watching today on the PDawg Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawg Night, and I'm out of here.